if you look around, I think now there's so many tools and the technology, right? There's like an overflow of data. It's just, and companies is like, oh, we need to just collect all the data. How do you control it? What's the, because again, right, you can be overwhelmed and then you're drowning and then nothing, it didn't help you at all. So how do you control it?
Yeah, that's another good question, because that's exactly what often happens, right? Many people or organizations, even they think like, just let's get data driven, right? It's a funny thing, and then let's just let the data in. It feels like you're just opening the floodgates, right? And then you're just overwhelmed by data.
Like, right? We did it, right? We're agile. We're like everything. We're collecting data. No.
Yeah, exactly. And the risk is obviously that we become also too dependent on data and try to look up all kinds of information and data for our decision making, which is another challenge in itself anyway. But the thing is, data is coming back to the balance, right? We have to actually we cannot forget these two elements, right? We have our human experience and intelligence, and we have data. So we cannot make it this way that we have like a decision to be taken. Then, okay, let's look at all the data. If you're just opening the floodgates and look at all kinds of information that is relevant, you have some endless ocean of data and information that you have to consume. And where would that end up? It would end up in complete paralysis, right? Where you just don't take any decision at all, because you're seeking more and more data, right? And you try to find more and more. And that's not the purpose or the point of becoming data informed, right? You should, first of all, actually not even look at data or seek data, right? Let's say, for example, you're trying to find a solution for let's maybe find some good example. Let's say you just want to get into a supermarket, right? You want to buy something, just to take some very simple example. That's your problem, and you want to find data, how to get there, for example, right? To what route to take, right? And what street, maybe you have to take public transport or whatever, or take the car, right? You want to collect data to inform you what is the best route. It's like a navigation system in your car, right? So you put in like, what should I do, right? And you're asking basically, or seeking data to inform you on the best route, right? So that if that's your best, your initial approach to address that problem, then you're already biased, you're already flawed in your decision making, because you're maybe not even addressing the proper problem. So first thing is really like to think first and let our intelligence get to work, right? If we're even looking at the right thing, why even going to the supermarket? What is the reason why I want to buy whatever? Well, maybe there's another means to do that. Maybe I can get some home shopping, right? So I can actually get that delivered, right? There are various options, right? So that's where you actually start narrowing that down. And then with this narrowing down, you're actually looking at different data sets. You're looking at you narrow down your scope for the data. And that this way actually you reduce the amount of data that you're actually consuming in the end. And that's what I call, usually that's the difference between seeking data and discovering, right? So seeking data is really like you're focused on something and you just need desperately data to actually inform an already made decision, kind of, because you're saying you want to go to the supermarket and you want the data to actually tell you how to do that, right? But the decision to go to the supermarket is already taken, right? While you're actually not even looking at the right problem. So what I'm saying is not only misusing data and just throw out the problem and thinking that data is solving everything for us. There's still some human thinking to be done and some intelligence to be done to actually narrow down the problem. And actually in decision making, you call that problem framing, right? You actually define the problem and then you frame the problem. So you narrow your scope for the problem. And with this, you actually use data and then to inform you but not really just to guide you or in terms of what the problem actually is.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Mind Innovation Podcast. New episodes are dropping bi-weekly, so make sure you're following wherever you get your podcast. You can find me on LinkedIn, search for Sanna Winding. You can also find me on YouTube, search for Mind Innovation, or go to my website, sannawinding.com or mindinnovation.com. Stay curious, keep learning.